This is the Luba 2 all-wheel drive, and this is their highest end model. It's rated for around 3 acres mowing. Some things that I really like about it, and we've had 3 of these autonomous mowers out now. 4 if you count the remote control one that we had prior. But one of the things that I really notice about a lot of units is once you graph your whole area that you want to cut. And with this one, I have made a perimeter around my shop, around my greenhouse, all the way over the hillside over there, around this area here, all the way up to my front yard. And you'll see this in parts of the video. And I have let this mower run. Now, one of the cool things is I mapped all this at night and went around the perimeter and drove it around. One time, the grass was overgrown, and one of the things that I really noticed, like a lot of these other mowers, the things that will happen is like you see this dip here. So that mower there can go through that dip, and let's say that one tire drops off here and it starts to spin. A lot of the other mowers will give you an error and say, hey, the mower has come off the ground, or error, it's lifted. You get these little error messages. Now, I've got a pipe that comes out of the ground in several spots in this area, and it's not level. And a couple of the other mowers, actually all of them but this one, when I first mapped all this, what I figured out is sometimes if they would get off camber off of that, they would fail, recharge, and then you have to go out there and get them, and then you would have to move them back to, get them picked back up. I've never had that problem with this mower. So far, this has been an excellent mower. Now, it still uses razor blades on the bottom, but I will show you that it has 2, and I'll post a picture of it, but it has 2 discs on the bottom with multiple razor blades on it. Now, you do have to clean those quite often, and I've noticed that if you don't clean them, it gets a ton built up in there, which is every one of them that you get. They don't have a lot of vacuum, but if you mow overgrown grass and you mow a lot of stuff that is thick, it basically has to mulch everything, so there's nowhere that it spits it out. It just falls down when it cuts it. So this machine here, it's mowed around this, around the fence line, around this tree, around my driveway, and I basically mapped this whole area up through here. You can see how close it gets to the tree. It leaves about 4 to 6 inches out from this tree is what it cuts close to. And then up here at the front, as you can see up here, and we've had a drought for over 2 months now, so my yard is complete garbage currently. But when it mows around through here, you can see what it leaves here. It leaves about 6 to 8 inches from where it's at. And when I mapped this, I mapped it in the rocks halfway, hoping that it would get closer than that. But a lot of these mowers, I haven't seen one yet or had one out yet that you're still not going to have to weed eat or mow with something. And you could probably take that and hand drive it and drive it up on there and mow around that, but you're still going to have to do that manually. It cannot get as close to the landscape and things like that as I was like. Now that we've got all that out of the way, I wanted to talk about this mower and some of the features that I have been asking for on so many mowers. And one of the things is like the first person view. So what you're going to see pop up in this video is I can connect to this mower anytime. If I'm, on the other side of the world, I can connect to this mower and I can see out the front cameras where it is mowing, and I can watch it. I can drive it myself. I can look at it. Now, I will say it does have a 4G modem in it, but I have not had that good of luck with it. I don't know what service provider it connects to, but I'm in Kentucky, and I'm in the central Kentucky We have Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and a couple other ones. But when I have this on Wi-Fi, when it's connected to Wi-Fi, like if it's at my house and I've got it from here to about where it's at now, I can see where it mows and use it comfortably. Like I don't have any trouble with it. But once it gets down here, like towards the woods line, or it gets back there and it goes behind my shop, I really had trouble with it staying connected so I could see out of the first person view. It'd say lost connection, and so on. Now, one of the other things that I noticed is this mower says that it's not connected. Like if you send it out and you tell it to do a task, and I've just got one tasked area, and it's this huge area through here that you can see, it'll say lost connection. But one of the great things that I notice is no matter what, it keeps on task. So even if it loses connection, somehow it continues that task and continues going. And the first time that I had it mow this, so the really nice features is on this mower, you have mowing speed that you can set. You can set the actual overlap, how much overlap you want. It goes up to about 13.5 inches width of cut, all the way down to almost as narrow as you want it. So the first time that I mowed this yard, it was super thick. So I set the overlap to about 8 inches. And then I set the speed really slow. And as you're going to see in the video, it went through some Bermuda. It went through some other stuff. And it made a good cut, but it left a lot of grass on top. But it took almost a little over 2 days to cut this entire area. Then I turned the speed all the way up, and I turned the path where the overlap, how wide it cuts, I put it on the widest setting, and it was able to cut the yard in right at a day's time worth. So when you turn it up, it'll actually go pretty quick at a rate of speed across there. Right now, it's at about 3/4 of the speed that it can go. Maybe a little less than 3/4 full throttle. So you can kind of see it's right at walking speed is how fast it cuts. You can see it right there. Now, the thing with that is we've got bluegrass and fescue. So as you can see, it leaves some stragglers in that cutting even that fast. So if you've got a really thick, lush yard, you're going to have to slow it down and make the speed not wide open. So therefore, it's going to take longer. So if you're doing what this is rated at, if you've had it to mow a full 3 acres, which right now I've got it mowing a little over 1.5 acres. So with that, like I said, it took it 3 days to mow it completely, not double cut, not anything. But you might want to turn your overlap down. Now, this mower has so many features built into it. And like I said, it's all-wheel drive. It's got shocks on the front. The front axle pivots. See the shocks right here? And its obstacle avoidance is really good. This is a crazy thing. This has been mowing for approximately 1 month now, 3 weeks to 1 month, and I have never had to go get this mower. I've never had any fault with it other than it blowing the little fuse that is in the back right here. They call it a key, but it's basically a fuse. Now, the great thing is when you get this mower, it comes with 2 or 3 of those. It comes with, a year or 2 years worth of blades. And, you're every problem that you could come across, it basically has you covered for the first year or 2. I did message the company to see, if I had a problem, which I had a problem with that key. So what I did is I messaged the company online, and because you couldn't just go to their online and find it on the store, which I thought was weird, and I told them that too. But I messaged them and I said, hey, I had a key blow. Is there any reason it would do that? Because mine doesn't have the home over it. I'll show you the charging station, but mine doesn't have the home over it. So I thought, well, maybe moisture or something did it. So I messaged them and I said, hey, I said, this key blew. How would I get another one? And they said, well, you would just message us on here to get another one. And they wanted to know what model I had, where I bought it, all the things about it, which I didn't buy it. It was sent to me for free. So I told them that, and they were very quick to message me and stuff. But to get that key, you'd have to talk to them, so that was super annoying. Now, ordering blades and things like that, which I would get them on Amazon because they're way cheaper. But this here, like I said, some of the things you have to talk to them about to order, which is something I wouldn't really like. But other than that, I want to show a lot of the features that this has and how it has functioned for me. And like I said, this has been the best mower I have used thus far, along with the feature set that it has. And it has, you know, like I said, not had any errors or anything like that. And that's one of the things that the other mowers did not have. I kept getting errors with things like it dropping off, losing connection, or the RTK wouldn't stay connected. A lot of things. And we had that best mow, which is in the last video, and that cut really good. It would lay a stripe. This one doesn't seem to stripe extremely well, but it does lay stripes. Kind of, you can see there the little rows that it's laying down through there. But there's nothing to comb it over like some of them have. It has 3 little combs in the middle. I really like the stripe effect that the Best Mow gave. This obviously doesn't have that, but this is by far a much better mower than the Segway mower we had or the Best Mow that we had. And it's definitely, if you're mowing big properties, a really good option because it can go over or through just about anything that I've seen. I've took it and drove it like through the thick weeds and stuff, and we'll see that in this video. So as you can see here, you can see that it tells you everything you could want to know. Up here, it's showing the Wi-Fi connection, the 4G, your satellite connection, the battery life, all the things in there. Now, if you hit FPV, like I was saying a minute ago, you can hit that, and then that's going to give you the first person view, and you can see where it's mowing right now, as I was showing earlier. And like I said, it's a little bit glitchy at first, but it does work. And there it goes loading, so it might not work now, but we'll see. Remote connection activated. So let's see. All right, so there we go. You can see it mowing there. And you can also drive this around. It glitched there. Like I said, it's not the smoothest, and I'm sure it takes a ton of network. But if you lived in the city or something, you're going to have a way better connection. And it's about 100 feet or more from my house. So it's not got the greatest Wi-Fi. I don't have a high upload speed here. Literally, my Wi-Fi is about 50 upload speed. And I'm sure where it's at, it's like 2 or 3. But you can see there, it's driving through there. Now, if we go back to the actual mower, this is the cool thing about it. So you can see the area that it's mowed. You can see how long it's going to take to mow it. So approximately 8 hours, it's what it's saying remaining to mow that area. And you can see what it's mowed so far, where the base station is, all of these things that you can go to and see. So like if we go to settings, you can see what all you can switch here. You've got cut height, you've got task speed, obstacle avoidance, standard. You've got all this different cutting path spacing that you can make, zigzag pattern. I mean, you can literally do anything. I've got mine set for 2 perimeter mowing, so it's literally going to go around the perimeter twice for this area. But the great thing, like I said, is it doesn't get a lot of errors. I've literally had none. And I'll show you, like on the hillside over here, I've been going up and down this hillside. I'm gonna walk over here and I'll show you. So in this area where I let it cut, and I had it on a 9.5 inch overpass instead of the full 13. And I was running at the slowest speed, cutting at about 3.5 inches. This is a single pass. You can see the direction coming through here in this area. And the real big, tall, weedy stuff. Now, this was way overgrown. What are you doing? You're going to be itchy, but this was real overgrown. And you can see the little bit, you know, like the stuff that it left. That real thick, tall, weedy stuff right there, that is super hard to cut. And so those little razor blades just didn't do that much to it. But for a single pass on this, we're going to run it through again. I've turned it all the way up to the fastest speed and made the cutting height 2-point-something inches, 2.2. So we'll see how it does this time in comparison. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to drive it and we're going to put it in this really thick stuff to see how it does. That's wide open speed. I think it's 2 feet per minute is what it shows. I'm going to start the mowing. All right, I can hear it kick on. All right, here we go. All right, let's see how it does in this. Back up a little bit from it, though. Back up a little bit from it. All right, there you go. That's some really thick weeds. You would think it would stop it, but look at it. It's going above its head. I mean, it's chopping it right down like it ain't nothing. Oh, the cutting blades have automatically stopped. Let's see if we can get it start back. Oh, Bluetooth signal's weak. Let me get closer to it. It wants me to be Bluetooth. So it didn't stop because of that. It stopped because of the Bluetooth. All right, let's try again. Here we go. Let's see how it does in reverse. Cutting blades have automatically stopped due to poor Bluetooth signal. Oh wow, I'm like 5 foot from it. Let's try again. Robot mower is back low.
I'm making it look like the robot's head shaking. Okay. Yeah, I think this video was a fail.
No, I want people to see this.
We might have to cut out some parts.
No, we ain't cutting none of that. We're just going to send it.
Even since I done the little shaky shake with it. My pants are about to fall down. I got a little bit of...
So you can see right there that it's, you know, mowing in some really thick stuff that's even over the top of it and going through there. Now, it's not mowing it up like a regular mower would, but you could send it through that and, you know, do just fine. I don't have the mowing blades on now, but I mean, with that all-wheel drive, look at this. I mean, it'll just go up in little embankments and everything like it's nothing.
It made a new entrance down.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see how the bottom side looks after mowing through that. I mean, not bad. Could be a lot worse. It pulled sticks and everything up in there. Watch, those are razors, honey.
I see them.
But I am super impressed with this machine. I mean, if you've got the money and you don't want to mow your yard, this is I think this is truly a phenomenal machine. And it does, this is what I noticed. Around those sides there, it compacts a lot in there. So you need to keep this cleaned out for the best optimal cut. So this area is where I have let this mow so far. And I've mapped this entire yard. As you can see, it's mowing back there right now. We'll get back there to it in a minute, but I want to show you this. So it's just mowed one direction currently, and it's made a single pass through here. Now, a lot of my yard has been dead because we've been in a drought. As you can see, it's all folded over. It's brown. It's junk. If you've not seen this channel, usually this grass is super lush, crazy thick. But I've got a huge break-in of Bermuda grass, so I wanted to see how it cut the Bermuda grass. I knew it would cut bluegrass and fescue, but I don't have any really thick grass right now. It just started raining here, so we'll showcase it in some thicker grass in a little bit. But I've got it set on the medium blade tip speed. I can turn it up one more notch. Of course, the battery won't last as long. So I've got it set to, I think, 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 cut, because I want to cut it all down real little. And a single pass, it looks like it's cutting very smooth. Now you can see in this Bermuda, so if you've got Bermuda grass or anything like that, you can see that it's leaving some clumps through here, some bigger clumps, because it's like chopping it up so thick and spitting it out. Now Bermuda is extremely thick, and you can see them little clumps all over that. Of course, it's just made a single pass. Now, on the bluegrass and the fescue, it just went right over it and cut it fine. It'll go up to, I think, 4 inches. But we'll go over through this grass and see if we see a lot of stragglers or anything. I mean, it's a really, really clean-looking cut until you get to the Bermuda. And I'll show you a big patch of it in a minute. But you can see, here's what it, looked like before cutting. You can see how thick that Bermuda grows. Like, you can't kill that stuff. It's nuts. And then you can see the lines it's making down through here. So you can have it, it's just going in a single direction through here. Now, here's, like I said, I've got a big break in Bermuda, and you can see how clumpy it's making that. Now, when this goes over it again, I've got a feeling that it will mulch this all up perfectly, because the second pass will get it knocked down. Now, I've got it cutting this whole area through here, but you can see it's clumping big time in that Bermuda, and it's making those lines. And I'll show you how thick the grass is right now as it's going through it, so you can kind of see the difference. So there's where it's backing up to charge right now. There's where it has stopped. And so we'll get down there and see the difference. So it's about a 3 to 4 inch cutoff to where it's cutting it off at. Over through there, you can see down through this. But in the bluegrass and the fescue, it is cutting it really, really well. Now, there is some stragglers that it's missing through here, but this yard hadn't been cut in literally 7 to 8 weeks. And here is, like I said, the Bermuda clumps. A lot of mowers really struggle with Bermuda. It's just extremely thick, fine, viney grass. And this has little razor blades on it, so it's not as easy for it to chop it up as a real mower, and it's got to mulch it. So when it gets a ton in there, it just has a ball of it. So I'm hopeful to go to bed, wake up, and this grass be cut, because it's an absolute mess right now. But we'll see how it does. This has 2 blades on it, and you can see just how jagged, like the grass, it's been burnt and everything. There's a bunch of Bermuda in this, so it's one of the toughest grasses to cut because it's viney. But there it goes through there. It is whacking it down. So even at night, it seems like this thing is going to be able to back up to its charger. This cat's curious what this thing is. got a bright little headlight on it.